Good morning, CFNA. It's Coach Heather here with my sidekick,
Harley Love.
Harleen Love. All right, we're here to talk about sleep. Here's an astounding fact is that if you're getting 6 hours or less of sleep a night, your time to physical exhaustion is going to drop by up to 30%, which means that, for example, if my 2K time, I know is somewhere, say, around 8 minutes, that means that the number on my screen, my pace would be 2 minutes. And that means that if I get a good night of sleep, or if I get 8 hours of sleep or so, that means that I can hang on at that pace for 8 minutes. If I get 6 hours or less of sleep, it means that I would really only be able to hold that 2 minute pace for more like 5.5 minutes before I start to drop off totally. And we all know what that feels like on a 2K row. So that's our reason to get you to listen to us and now do what we say. So we are going to give you the challenge of trying to set a sleep goal for 1 week. So only 1 week. A month can be a little bit overwhelming, and right now let's just like work on one thing for 1 week. So we're giving you three options. So one is there's three things based on what you think your biggest like weakness is with your sleep schedule. So your first one is your actual time. So are you getting less sleep than you should time wise? So we want to get at least 7 hours of sleep, but more ideally 8 hours of sleep would be way better. So when you think about that, don't actually think like, okay, say I want to get 8 hours of sleep, so I'm going to go to bed at 10 o'clock, and that means that I'll get up at 6 o'clock, and that will be 8 hours. But if you're somebody who typically wakes up during the night, or you get into bed, it takes you a long time to fall asleep, or you're waking up before the 5, just make sure that you're trying to actually get 8 hours of sleep. I know that for me, that means I need to get in bed at least a half hour earlier than the 8 hours, because I wake up in the middle of the night, and it takes me a little while to fall back asleep when I go back down. Your second option is to eliminate things like alcohol or caffeine from your diet. So I would say try to get both of them. I don't think you need to eliminate caffeine. Just try to, like we've talked about in the past, try to get your last dose of caffeine, like your last cup of coffee, for example, done. I try to get mine done by 10 o'clock in the morning. But definitely not like try to get it in earlier than that, like normal, like noon or 1 o'clock that we've said in the past, or like a lot of people will say. So try to limit that. And then alcohol, I would say try to completely eliminate it for 1 week. I started this whole thing like 2 weeks ago. I started saying I was gonna like not drink alcohol. So 1 week I actually had great, like much better sleep than I had for a long time. I had one night last Sunday, I had 2 glasses of wine. That night and the night afterwards, I had terrible sleep, and then went back to not drinking any alcohol. And now I've had a full over a week almost of way better sleep than like just much better sleep in general. So think about that, either cutting out alcohol completely and or limiting your caffeine intake after say 10 o'clock in the morning. Finally, your third option, please stop. Your third option is to work on your screen usage and your light exposure at nighttime. So that means that 1 hour, at least 1 hour before you go to bed, try to completely eliminate your iPhone, your iPad, your computer. Shut them all off and don't touch them again until the morning. Also, I would say not, which is as helpful, but just I would really try to dim lights. Like when it starts to get dark outside, try to start dimming your lights, turn off any extra lights that you don't need on in your house, and on top of doing the 1 hour of not using any screens before bedtime. Okay, so those are your three options. One is to get 8 hours of sleep, or make your attempt, like a really good attempt at getting 8 hours of sleep. Number two, eliminating things like caffeine and alcohol, or cutting back on them in general. And number three, cutting down on your lights at night and eliminating screen usage for 1 hour before bedtime. All right, guys, that's your goal. We're going to try to get those goals up on SugarWad in the comments, and or on the YouTube, on the video if you're watching this on YouTube. So put the comments up, or if you don't want to get them public like that, just email them to me at heather@crossfitnewengland.com, and we'll revisit this in about a week, whenever my my videos come back into the cycle a week from now. All right, guys. Harley Love. Bye.